This mama dog was rescued from a high-kill shelter in Portales, New Mexico. The puppies were raised in a loving foster home until they were 8 weeks of age and ready for adoption. I am performing temperament evaluations on some of the puppies to match them to adoptive homes. Each puppy is evaluated separately. Each pup is removed from the familiar area of the home and placed in an area they have not been in before. This is a disclaimer. Usually the evaluator needs to be an unknown person to the puppies. I have visited these pups at their foster home a couple times before the evaluation, but always as a group and not individually. At this time, I do not have anyone available to help me evaluate the puppies, so I do the evaluation myself. I still gained valuable information to place the puppies in compatible homes. You will see the differences between the puppies in this video. Temperament evaluation is not training, nor does it have anything to do with how quickly a dog can learn obedience or other tasks. It is an assessment of the dog's natural instinctive inclinations and behaviors to different stressors. An evaluation can be an indicator of what type of home will be a good match for a puppy or dog. This is Happy. 7.5 weeks old. I'm going to eval her, and I just put her down in this spot. You gonna check it out, girl? I always want to give them some time to check out the environment. Here I am allowing Happy time to acclimate to the new space. The time this takes may depend on the puppy, but usually it's at least a few minutes, anywhere up to 5 minutes. She is exploring slowly, but she is not afraid, and her body is loose and her tail is wagging most of the time. So she's pretty relaxed about being in this new environment away from her litter mates. During the acclimation stage, I am not talking to or distracting the puppy. I'm just being in the space with them and letting them do what they want. How the puppies act when exploring a new space can give me a lot of information about their potential fearfulness or boldness. Nice exploring. Nice middle tail. She's not really afraid. She's just being slow. She's taking it slow. What do you have, girlfriend? Now, I will preface this whole thing by saying that these puppies have met me before. Ideally, you want to have someone evaluate them that has not met them before. But in this situation, we don't really have anyone available at this time, so I'm it. Regardless, though, they have not been in this area, this room. So, the whole environment is different, and they're also removed from their siblings for maybe the first time. Hi, sweetheart. When I call Happy over to me, she comes over politely, low wagging tail, happy to see me, and tries to lick my face, which is totally typical of puppies and a sign of submissiveness and trying to please me. And she wants to hang out with me. I'm not concerned about the puppy crawling into my lap. That is totally normal for most puppies. She is not crawling in and jumping on me or trying to bite me or do impolite things. Nor is she crawling into my lap to hide. She's merely crawling in to greet me and say hello. And I want to do the touching. You touch her little two thumbs. Oh, do you see yourself in there? And we're going to do the paw. Let me see here. A little bit of teeth.
things here, but this is very gentle.
Happy doesn't care much about me touching her teeth. She sits down in avoidance a little bit, and she just does a slight mouthing when I touch her paw.
What are you doing?
Next step is to lift the pup off the ground slightly by supporting the pup under its chest and shoulders. Here she pretty much hangs very relaxed like a limp noodle, and as soon as I get the response from that, I go to the next step, which is holding her like a baby. I find this is a good way to test if the pups are going to struggle when being restrained or being held in a way that they don't really want to. Happy's totally relaxed with this. As you can see, her feet are very relaxed. Her legs are not splayed out in the air. Nor is she trying to grip my arm with her paws or struggle to try and get away.
This is testing for play drive. I would say this is about a normal puppy interest here. She definitely perked up when I got this out.
I would say this is a medium to medium-low amount of prey drive compared to what I've seen in other puppies. She's not very interested in playing tug-of-war or competing with me over the toy, but she is interested in chasing it a little bit.
Test for resources. I just want to give the dog a chance to actually investigate it and start chewing on it. I don't want to give it to him and then take it away right away. This is a good sign because she didn't take it and run away. Although I'm going to help her get it out. Here, sweet. If the dog takes it and come here. You can't find it. There you go. The dog takes it and hides it in the corner. Could be something just to watch for. But I want to give them a chance to start to enjoy it. And now I want to go in and take this thing away using like a normal person's energy, right? Which might be a little nervous. I'm not going to go in there all assertive and try and take this away. I'm just going to see. Her tail's wagging. Here, you want a little piece? Yeah, you did a good job there, huh? Yeah, good girl.
I want to take a minute to explain a few things about resource guarding. First of all, none of the puppies in this video demonstrate resource guarding. Secondly, what I'm looking for to indicate resource guarding is a whale eye, stillness, growling, biting over a resource. This puppy is soft, wiggly, and pliable the whole time. She does not get stiff, she does not stare at me, and she does not guard her resource. A dog that just wants a resource back is not a resource guarder unless they start to exhibit the stillness, staring, growling, or potential biting that a resource guarder would display. Resource guarding is a very complicated behavior, and if you're dealing with a dog that exhibits these behaviors, I suggest you seek professional guidance.
And I want to test for noise. So a lot of times I might use a metal bowl or a clipboard or something like that, and I want to throw it on the ground behind the puppy. Now I must say, this is a noise that I have not conditioned the dog to. Lately, I've seen videos of people who look like they've conditioned the dog to a certain noise. So that's really good. I can use something else if I want to try something else. I like to see this puppy isn't really afraid. She's just checking out stuff. And she's doing it pretty calmly, which I like too. Good girl, huh? Good girl. So I'm going to do the layer on the side test. I do this at the end because I don't want me laying the dog on its side and holding it there to affect how they might respond to the other things in the test. So, for example, maybe they wouldn't guard their resources much if I had already done that. So,
when I do this, I hold one hand on the shoulder area and one hand on the flank area. Very gentle pressure. And I just do it long enough to see what the puppy's response is going to be. I'm not holding the puppy here long enough for it to stop struggling or for it to continue to struggle. Here I accidentally let her up a little sooner than I wanted, so I just put her on her side again. And after doing this for 12 years and evaluating lots of puppies, you tend to get a feeling for what is a normal amount of struggle, what is excessive, and what is zero or frozen in fear. In general, Happy is a very people-centric dog. She does not display any resource guarding. She is not afraid of noise or visual items and is quick to go and explore those things that might startle her. She was a tiny bit mouthy when I touched her paw and resisted slightly when I held her on her side, meaning she's not totally submissive to people, but I think with any decent amount of training and structure in the home, she will be a fine pet.
This is Fonzie. Same litter. Giving her time to explore. Hi, sweetie. Nice, confident pup. Aren't you? Yes, you're a nice, confident pup. Did you hear me talking about you?
So Fonzie says hello to me. He's really happy to interact with me, but as soon as I stop interacting with him, he goes to entertain himself, which is a good sign. You want a dog who will not be too clingy or dependent on you and happy being by itself.
Hi. Oh, good.
Here, Fonzie explores the area a little more, but he's always glad to come back to me. And again, he's trying to climb up and lick my face, which is totally acceptable in puppies.
Who's playing in the other room, huh? Is that your mama barking?
He hears his mama barking here and goes to look for her, which is totally normal. But I like the fact that he's not really stressed out from being separated from the rest of the puppies, even though he can hear them. So he's not really trying to get back to them. Again, I think this is an indicator this pup would be confident on his own and probably not likely to have separation anxiety in the future.
All right, come here, you. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Let's do the two thumbs. Let's do the two thumbs.
When I am touching the puppy's gums and teeth, I simply am putting my thumb or finger on the teeth and gums a little bit and seeing what happens. I try my best not to cover their eyes or obscure their vision too much during this part. You will notice here he definitely uses his mouth more than the previous puppy during this phase, but he is still keeping his body totally loose and wiggly and is not full on biting me or correcting me for this behavior.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
He also comes back to me readily in a friendly manner.
Mm. So he's a little mouthy with his paws. Let's see if I can do that again. Just you know. Sometimes if dogs are a little mouthy with their paws, I'll touch them all over and see. Come here. What are you doing? Huh? Okay, we'll do the hang. A little bit more protest than sister, huh? Oh my goodness.
Fonzie is not a fan of being held on his back like this. This could indicate, 1, he's not a cuddler, and 2, doesn't like to be restrained, and 3, may not like to be totally submissive when being held by a human. But he still is not biting or doing any very extreme behaviors.
A lot of protest.
Here I hold him upright for a minute just to settle him down before I put him down on the floor. When I test prey drive, I want to use a toy that has some sort of movement to it. You can see here Fonzie is a little less interested in the toy than the previous puppy was. He grabs onto it for just a slight second and then lets go, and then kind of loses interest altogether. Typically, dogs with lower prey drive are easier to train and get their attention because they're not as fixated on other moving items out in the world. You can see here he has lost all interest in the moving toy.
What are you doing looking at that, huh?
Here Fonzie takes the pig ear and goes to lay down a few feet from me. This is not concerning, and he doesn't seem overly interested in it. Sometimes fearful dogs are too afraid to even pick up the pig ear. In this case, I have always found that the dog does not have resource guarding. However, I'm sure there are exceptions to this. Usually if a puppy has resource guarding, he will get stiff when you touch him, not loose or wag his tail.
Where are you going with that? Come here. Come on out. There's a good boy. Yeah, there's a good boy. See, the wagging tail, he doesn't get stiff when I take that away. All right? Give him just a little tiny piece to keep. The noise thing. I'm going to drop this.
I tried to drop the object out of sight of the puppy, but here I made a mistake and he was looking at it when I dropped it. So I redo it behind him. As you can see, there's very little startle and immediate interest in what the object is without being afraid. If he was afraid, he would likely run away and tuck his tail.
Good job.
This is a totally normal response for a puppy to startle like he did and jump, and then come to investigate the object that made the noise and recover from it quickly.
I'm going to do the sideways thing. I think he might protest a little bit. That's what I think. I think he might. I think he might. Oh, not as bad as I thought. boy. Yeah. Hi, Fonzie.
Sometimes things happen during an evaluation that allows you to gather a little information about the puppy that you wouldn't have otherwise. So here he hears his brothers and sisters being called outside by the foster mom, and of course he wants to join them because it's fun. And he whines a little bit, you know, and this is typical, especially of a young puppy. They want to be with their siblings. But, you know, it's not extreme in the end. He does come to tell me about it, and I think I could easily distract him from this. All in all, it's a good thing to see how he reacts to this kind of stress. And even though I didn't plan this to happen, still a good way to gather information. If something doesn't go perfectly according to plan during your evaluation, don't worry, just look at it as an opportunity to gain more info.
Oh no. Oh no, what is it? Huh? You want to go outside? Oh. Oh no.
My recommendation for Fonzie would be an adult-only home or a home with teenage children. He's not a dog that'll like to be cuddled or held or picked up, so small children may not be a match for him. And a home that is reasonably structured and the owners have some confidence so that he won't take advantage of them. This puppy enjoys being around people. He's nice and confident, but not overly prey driven, and probably will be a medium activity dog.
Sky checking out the place. Oh, hi, cutie. Oh. Hey, you busted down my wall. Come here. Come here, Sky. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, what's that? Yes. Come here, Sky. Come here. Come here. You gonna whine for your sisters? No.
Sky was the only pup to try and escape from the evaluation area. Sometimes in rescue, I don't have a secure room, and I have to make do by setting up a little boundary at the edge of the evaluation area. And Sky found the weakness and knocked it down a couple times. She was the only puppy to try to do this out of the litter. This tells me she is a little bit more bold and explorative than the other puppies out of the litter.
Now she's intent on escaping. Nope, we're not gonna do that. Come here. Come here, Sky. Come here. Good girl. Yeah, good girl.
I am able to coax her back from her quest to escape to be with me. So that is a good indication she likes people, and her tendencies can be overcome with a little bit of training.
Let's see. Oh, the feisty one.
Here Sky is actively pulling away and resisting me trying to touch her teeth. And she gets to the point where she just wants to totally get away from me here. Again, I'm not training the puppies during an eval, so I'm not going to restrain them unnecessarily. I'm going to let them do what they want and what is their natural inclination during an evaluation.
Come here, good girl. Don't try and...
She readily comes back every time I call her, which is always a good sign. And here she does put her teeth on my hand for touching her paw. It's a decent amount of pressure she's putting on my hand. So this puppy I would not place in a home with small children. because if they accidentally grab her or intentionally grab her, as kids often do, she might start nipping at the kids. So we need her in a home that can control the activity level and also work with her on this behavior.
You really got a little bit in my mouth there, huh? So as cute as she is, I probably would not put this puppy with little kids. Because oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Lucy. Come here. Oh, good girl. I'm going to redo this just to make sure. Yep, same thing each time. Okay, ready? Good girl. Good girl. Oh my goodness. Strange enough, much more calm with this. Sort of. Oh.
You can see this puppy has a little more prey drive. She gets a little more excited and she's much more willing to play tug than the other puppies before her. Oh my gosh, Lucy.
She's carrying it around some.
Testing this puppy with the pig's ear is a little bit interesting because she's showing a few signs of very slight resource guarding. Like here, her tail tucks more when I go to pet her. And she gets a little still right there. But in the end, she decides it's not a big deal. She walks around with it and becomes looser in her body again, and then lets me take the resource without a problem.
Good girl. Good
Even
girl.
so, because she had this very slight tendency, this is a dog I might do some give and take with, where you just teach her to take an item and give it back to you and then give it back to her. And this will just teach her that, you know, if you take things away, she's going to get them back. This is not a dog I would take her food away from her constantly or put your hands in her food bowl. She might become irritated. Let's see, here I have my hand on the resource and she's still chewing it and not getting still. So I see a very slight potential to maybe guard a resource, maybe with someone she didn't respect very much.
puppies.
So my recommendation for this puppy would be to go to a home with adults only or adults and older teenage children. I would like the home to have some kind of structure and also a confident air about the owners naturally. This is not a dog I would put in a household with an anxious or insecure owner. Because of this puppy's mouthiness and her resistance to being held and touched, I would not recommend this dog for a home with small children. I would also like to see them work on any possible resource guarding that may be underlying by just simply trading items with this dog and get her used to having things taken away but then given back to her. Like all the puppies in this litter, Sky is quite fond of people, but she may be a boundary pusher and will probably be a fairly active dog. Here I'm giving Bogart time to acclimate to the evaluation area. And you can see here he's just a little more timid than his siblings. I mean, again, on the range of normal, but just a little more timid. His tail is a little more down and he's a little more like slinky and moving a little bit slower. A little more timid than the others. Exploring wise. Hi, sweetie. Now she's getting much more comfortable just after a minute. That little click from the dog door made him pause just a minute, but he recovers nicely from it and just walks away with a wagging tail. Hi, cutie. Come here. Oh, is that you, puppy? Is that you, puppy? Come here. Oh, is that a girl or boy? Is that a puppy? Yeah. Here we have super nice body posture from him. He's loose, his tail's low and waggy. Yeah. He sits down, which is a more submissive posture. And he's happy to stick with me for a little bit. A couple of the other puppies were a little more quick to walk away from me, but he stays near me. Hey, you. Come here. There you are. There you are. Yes. Yes. Hello. 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 Mm-hmm. Similar to his siblings, he's happy to interact with me, but he's also content to go and do things on his own. Come here. Come here, cutie. Hi. Oh, hello. Hello. I need to see you. I need to see you. Come here. She smells something. She's busy looking at something. So we have just a touch of mouthiness here, not as much as Sky, the previous puppy. And he's also more avoiding the situation by trying to sniff the ground and walk away.
Different than her siblings. Let's do that again. More licking, just a little bit. Mouthing right there. All right, ready? Do the hang. Do the hang. Little bit of fighting there. A little bit of protest. Oh.
He's not enjoying being held on his back.
Easy.
So I calm him down and then just let him go.
There we go. There we go. Look.
This puppy enjoys a game of tug a little more, and he has a little more prey drive than the others. He gets into this game a little bit more. You can see him really trying to pull back, which the others didn't do. But I really like the fact that when I get closer to him, he looks at me and wags his tail. He's not threatened by my presence at all. In fact, he's happy to have me engage with him. Here I just hold the toy and kind of tell him that I want it, and he easily lets go and walks away.
She took it back behind there.
That's good.
Hey you. Hey you. Hey. What are you doing under there? What are you doing under there? Are you trying to escape? No, we can't escape. Come here. Come on, there's a cute girl. Oh yes. Oh yeah, there's a cutie. Who is a cute girl?
Because this puppy is more social and also more tolerant of touch, he could go to a home with older children in it. He's basically a nice, confident, well-rounded puppy that will need a little bit of training and things to keep him well behaved, but generally should succeed in most homes. Each puppy has a slightly different personality, even though they're from the same litter. Doing temperament evaluations helps to identify these personalities and also place the puppy in the home it's most likely to succeed.